Today on Monkey Life, vet day for marmoset Clyde, who comes in for a snip, but ends up minus a few teeth too.
That one there is this. So that's come out, I think, ideally.
The maintenance team begin adapting Bryan's outdoor enclosure to meet the needs of disabled chimp Chocolat, due to be rehomed from Kenya.
We're just going to do the best we can for Chocala and carry on knowing that she really has no other option at this point in her life.
And a lesson in tool use from Oshine for the nursery orangutans. Monkey World in Dorset, very deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
The owners are going to be upset to say goodbye, but they're doing the right thing.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. It's vet day, and two of the park's male marmosets are about to undergo a fiddly procedure. They both need vasectomies. First up is recent arrival Clyde, rescued from the pet trade. He came to the park in poor condition a number of months ago, but in that time, he's improved enormously. The correct diet, an outside enclosure, and a new friend and partner in Jenny have left him in excellent shape. But with her contraceptive implant running out, the team can't afford any unwanted pregnancies.
They're such a good pair, very well bonded. And now that Clyde is healthy and we're coming up to the time where Jenny's implant is running out, we need to make sure that Clyde is vasectomised.
Local vet David Holler has been called in to carry out the intricate surgery. But before he gets started, David gives Clyde an overall health check.
340.
340, yeah.
He's lost a small amount of weight, but nothing to be concerned about as his muscle mass is good. But a check inside Clyde's mouth reveals a few problems.
That one there is this. So we will... the upper premolars on the left. So that's come out, I think, ideally. That might explain why he's dropped a bit of weight.
David needs to remove 2 teeth, but they'll have to wait. The first order of the day is the vasectomy.
Yes, it's a very fiddly procedure. We're looking for a little tube that's less than 1 millimetre in diameter, contained within the vas deferens with blood supply and muscle. So you've got to identify, separate out, and tie off and remove a section of the vas deferens, leaving the muscle and blood supply.
David begins the procedure and manages to locate the tiny tubes quite quickly. Then it's just a couple of snips and he can tie up the loose ends.
Good.
The procedure takes less than 30 minutes, and with Clyde's heart and breathing rate steady, David can carry out the dental surgery as well.
He can do some senior locks as well. We've got pus pouring out of this.
The condition of Clyde's teeth is not unusual given his background.
Whilst the diet here is as good as we can make it, obviously all of these guys at Monkey World have come from the pet trade, so we don't know what he was fed in the important developmental years. All of that will have an impact on the strength of the teeth, and you know, the longevity of the teeth.
Once David has dealt with Clyde's teeth, he's popped back into his travel box to recover from the anaesthetic. Then he'll be taken back to the house to be reunited with mate Jenny.
Right, see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Next up is Brass, a pet trade hybrid whose ancestry is a mystery. He recently lost his friend Evie, his companion of more than 10 years.
You can never say the name Brass without putting Evie on the end of it, so it was a really sad day for everyone and a sad day for Brass. I mean, he arrived with him, he lived with him for years. And yeah, unfortunately, he's lost his little soulmate, his little buddy.
Brass clearly misses having company, and the primate care staff are keen to find him a new friend as soon as possible. But before they can start on any introductions, he needs a vasectomy and a thorough health check.
Well, it's a good time today while we've got him asleep to have a good look at him and see where we are.
Yeah.
The vasectomy is quick, and David can now examine Brass more fully. The marmoset has been suffering from a fungal nail infection and fur loss for a while, and has been given steroids and antifungal medication. But the team still aren't happy with his progress.
I'm going to stop the steroid treatment and carry on just with the antifungals for now, because he had started to grow a bit more fur back with the antifungals on their own, and his nails were looking better. As soon as we get the bloods back from this, if his liver's doing okay, we know that he's tolerating the antifungals, we may even just increase the dose of that slightly and see if we can accelerate his improvement. So.
With Brass recovering and a new treatment regime planned, hopefully it won't be too long before this strange little marmoset meets a friend and starts a new chapter of his life. The nursery group of orangutans are in for a real treat today. The park has received a large donation of avocados and plantains, both of which provide excellent health benefits. And the primate care staff have come up with an interesting way of presenting them. They've mashed them up and hidden the mixture in pine cones, then popped them in the freezer.
We've frozen the pine cones to make it a little bit more difficult to get the food items out. If it's just avocado, orangutans are so clever and so used to all our enrichment activities that they're going to get that out really quickly. So if it's frozen, they've got to work a bit harder or be a bit more patient and sort of investigate the item a bit more.
The care staff enjoy thinking up new ways to keep the primate residents occupied.
Yay, it stayed.
And offer up new challenges.
We're quite restricted in what we can give these guys because they're very, very clever and they're very, very strong. Oshine likes to dismantle as many things as she can in the day, so we have to be a bit inventive about what we can do in a safe and enjoyable but enriching way for the orangutans.
Along with the pine cones, the orangutans are having a main meal of chopped up squash. With everything set, the group of 6 are let out. Cayenne is first. She's the youngest in the group, and the unusual objects in the enclosure make her cautious. She may not have seen pine cones before. But the rest of the group have no such worries. They immediately gather up as many pine cones as they can and quickly tuck in. The plantains and avocados haven't defrosted yet, so getting at the healthy food isn't straightforward. Bulu uses his teeth to prise the fronds apart to reach the frozen treat. Rika tries a different technique, inserting her long, slender fingers and opposable thumbs between the fronds and then licking the food off. Following the example of the others, Cayenne overcomes her initial fears and gets stuck in too. The matriarch of the group, 27-year-old Oshine, shows the rest of them how it should be done. In a demonstration of just how clever orangutans can be, she uses a stick as a tool to extricate the frozen food. It earns her an audience. Cayenne and Hujan, the 2 youngest in the group, are keen to watch and learn.
The youngsters were gravitating towards Oshine, watching all her different techniques to get the stuff out of the pine cone. Oshine's been using a stick to try and prise the avocado out, so I think they're trying to learn from that and work out the best tactics to get the nice stuff.
It doesn't take long for Cayenne to grasp the concept.
Look at the size of Bulu, he's got like 4.
Bulu is definitely at an advantage today. He's now a teenager, heading quickly to adulthood, and has grown massively. It's going to become an issue for the group and the primate care staff in the future.
Bulu is growing up very quickly. He is getting bigger and bigger, and his behaviour is becoming far more like a teenage orangutan than a youngster. He's got his lovely Sumatran beard now. He's starting to bulk out. So at some point, Bulu is going to outgrow the nursery. We don't know exactly when, but it would be wise to start thinking about his future now. So we've got a plan in place when we need it.
One thing's for sure, today Bulu isn't going to share his pine cones with anyone. Even a very persistent Mimi, who has a habit of helping herself. She'll just have to try and purloin one from someone a bit smaller, like Kyan. No chance with Rika, who knows how to avoid sneaky thieves. She heads off to eat her treat in the quiet of the tunnel system. At the home of chimp Bryan and his group, it's all systems go in the outdoor enclosure. The maintenance team have started work adapting the climbing frames and platforms under the guidance of Alison and primate care staff member Sean. There's a very special reason for all the work. Alison has received positive indications that a 24-year-old female chimp called Chocolat could soon be heading to the UK from Kenya to take up residence at the park. The move has been a long time coming, mainly due to Chocolat's long-term health problems.
There's nobody else really in the world that's prepared to give her an opportunity. I've searched, because I'm not sure that we'll be successful either, but I can't find any other options, and I've gone around different sanctuaries around the globe discussing Chocolat and her situation with other organizations, and nobody's really prepared to take her on. So we'll see. We're just going to do the best we can for Chocolat and carry on knowing that she really has no other option at this point in her life.
Chocolat's disabilities are profound. She has partial paralysis down one side from stray bullet fragments suffered when clinging to her mum, who was shot. She doesn't have the use of her right hand or foot, so a lot of thought and planning has gone into adapting the enclosure. The challenge is to make it easier for Chocolat to move around without compromising the space and climbing apparatus for Bryan's group of 6.
We're making best attempt here to try and provide her everything she needs down at a low level that the guys have up higher. She might try and climb, but we're at least giving her the opportunity to have a daily set of activities that she can do down low in this enclosure.
Although no firm date has been set for Chocolat's arrival, the transport crate for her move has already left for Kenya. While the maintenance team continue with the makeover, Bryan's group of chimps remain indoors. But the primate care staff are making sure they're kept busy and happy. They've brought a bit of the outside in, with lots of browse placed around the playroom, along with pillowcases stuffed with straw, hiding seeds and nuts. Bryan's lot are a pretty solid group these days, although relative newcomer Kangu is still a bit wary of Ash. But it's how Chocolat will deal with being introduced to the other chimps that's currently on Alison's mind.
Emotionally, how is she going to cope? Is she going to be strong, confident lady, or is the sight of the other chimps just going to freak her out? It's probably going to be a little bit of both.
Only time will tell, as everyone waits for news from Kenya on when Chocolat will make the journey. For the last 2 weeks, the Woolly Monkey team have been busy moving a large number of their charges from one group to another. Entire woolly troops have also swapped houses. It's been a busy and essential task, which will benefit all 3 groups involved.
We do this on a fairly regular basis with the woolly monkeys because our groups are constantly evolving. We've got youngsters that are growing up, and then personalities will start to show, and certain individuals suddenly that used to get on don't get on anymore, and there's a change in dynamic. So we need to really roll with that and try and keep everyone as happy as possible. So these moves are essential.
Today's final moves involve Oriana, Isla and Carlos, who are leaving the top woolies and moving to the barn.
Oh, good girl.
And heading in the opposite direction, Ava, along with her 2 daughters, Catalina and Zena. After all the juggling, finally everyone is where they're supposed to be. And there's a huge sense of relief.
We just have to keep everything crossed that everybody's going to get on. But yeah, Carlos did well. They've all done really, really well, considering they can see what's going on over the last week. So yeah, it's gone well.
But more hard work is to come. In the coming days, the monkeys who've moved will be reunited with old friends and need to be introduced to new ones. One group who've already gone through that process are the park's newly formed cafe woolies. Females Paquita and Quappa joined a few days ago and have now met the 3 males who make up the group: Paolo, Claude and Enzo. Today is their final step. They're all going outside together.
All the monkeys have been perfect. They've all done exactly what we've needed them to do. So we want to make sure this can go as smoothly and as positive for everyone as possible.
The 5 are given access to the enclosure and Paolo heads out first, giving his usual exuberant display before food grabs his attention. The 2 females soon follow. There's some nervous excitement as they head out, offering each other a little reassurance as they go. Always helpful when entering a new space. Enzo does his best to impress the girls and attract their attention. But he gets little reaction from the 2 experienced ladies. Claude is the other male in the group. He's probably the largest woolly monkey at the park, but he's still young and very inexperienced. This new group have only been together a few days. But on their first day outside, they look comfortable in each other's company, eating, foraging, and lazing in the sunshine. Two of the park's golden-cheeked gibbons, Peanut and Peng Yo, are indoors enjoying their playroom, patiently waiting to be let out into their large tree-filled enclosure. Following the success of pine cones with the nursery orangutans, primate care staff member Sarah is going to try them out on the gibbons.
The socks are filled with some apple, some pecans, some monkey nuts, some almonds, just a variety of different nuts and some pumpkin seeds as well. I've also made up some primate pellet that has been soaked in squash overnight. And these are great because it makes the gibbons work and manipulate the pine cone using their really slim, slender fingers to get into all the nooks and crannies to get the goodies out. So I'm hoping they'll enjoy this.
It's been 4 months since Peanut and her partner Peng Yo first went outside into their revamped enclosure. The team immediately noticed a dramatic change in Peanut's mobility.
She's moving very slowly.
They were so concerned, vet David Holler was called in to give Peanut a thorough examination, including x-rays. And it appears the problem could be historical.
David the vet had a look at her and was able to deduce from the x-rays some sort of perhaps potentially older injuries, a couple of fused vertebrae, maybe an old break in the pelvis or hip joint that has caused it to reset in a different sort of angle and position, and that is obviously going to cause problems with her. Her arms are sound, very important for gibbons. They live the majority of their life up in the trees. They need their arms to move around, so her arms are pretty good, which is really important. It's just the legs, the lower body, that's where we need to build the strength up.
While they can't fix the problem, the team can manage it. A course of medication and a few adaptations to the enclosure have helped Peanut become more like her old self.
We are seeing improvements in her mobility. It is going to take time, and I think doing activities like this, especially as now we're coming into the winter months, it's more important than ever to get her moving and keep her moving out in the enclosure to build those muscles back up so that we can get her up to fine fitness again.
Today's enrichment is being hoisted high into the tree canopy in suspended pulley feeders. Peanut knows every inch of the enclosure and how to navigate the branches and hosing, but it'll still be a good workout for her. Everything is set, but first Sarah takes the opportunity to check Peanut over in one of the tunnels and give her a daily joint supplement.
Good girl. Good girl. She's taking the important things, and you can see that she's, up and down the tunnel, ready and rearing to go. So let's go let her out. Puppy!
Peanut heads straight out to investigate. Her range of movement and mobility are definitely better than a few months ago. The fact she can grab one of the loose socks suspended on the rope and head up high with it is another positive sign. Peng Yo isn't far behind his partner and spots a treat-filled sock on a post. Gibbon's hands aren't as dexterous as many other primates, but he still manages to manipulate the sock to reach the food inside. The pulley feeders have caught Peanut's attention, and she heads over to take a closer look. Gibbons live and feed in the tree canopy. They have special muscle adaptations, allowing them to easily brachiate from branch to branch and hang for long periods of time while feeding. Peanut may be keeping one feeder to herself at the moment, but Peng Yo is still managing to get his fair share.
Peanut can monopolise some of the food items, but as long as we spread it around and we give them more than they need, he'll definitely get some. He's actually quicker than Peanut is, and he's not daft. He's been living with her for quite a while, so he knows how to get his share of the food.
Today's enrichment has been a big success. Peanut's displayed good mobility around the enclosure and looks comfortable up in the trees where she belongs. Next time on Monkey Life, orangutan Mimi's on the move, graduating from the nursery to join Tuan's group.
It's not going to be for long. It's not a very long journey to Tuan's house. I can see it from the other side of the fence.
And a puzzle feeder is just too puzzling for besotted Saki pair Desmond and Neva.